This is Common Progressions, System 1, Week 12. Congratulations on getting through all of this stuff. And I hope that you find this really useful stuff. It's a very practical application of scales, arpeggios, and so on. And, obviously, you guys are from all different backgrounds. Some of you guys like metal, and some of you like country, and some of you like jazz, and some, all different styles of music. But hopefully you can see how this stuff can start to apply to all of those different areas. And even though, the 12 weeks worth of backing tracks that I did, they were down certain slots or whatever, but you can see how you can apply this stuff and how you can actually take this stuff and go over like some of your favorite backing tracks and learn how to practice this stuff on your own. The key is really isolation. So making sure that you do just a very narrow thing. So if you're doing arpeggios, try to stay in arpeggios. If you're doing pentatonics, try to stay in pentatonics until you get the stuff down, and then you want to incorporate it with everything else to really amalgamate it into your particular style. And that's all the greats did it too. They would, let's say that they were into George Benson. If they were a jazz player, maybe they'd learn a bunch of George Benson riffs, but then they try to put them into their own style. Or if they were into, Patitucci or something like that, if they're more into the prog rock metal type of stuff. They learn the stuff and then they apply it to their own thing. So hopefully, even if, if you're in a niche style or a broader style, hopefully you like these too and they were fun for you and you learned a lot from them, and actually started to, make something that was very close to real music. It's not real music yet, but it's like right on the edge of real music. Again, if I likened this to the martial arts, it would be as if you were learning some different moves, and then you get into a ring to spar a little bit and try those moves, and you're terrible at the moves, and then eventually you get those moves, and then you're into a free sparring type of situation where you're actually like trying the stuff out, and you launch into a move, you can't do it, you launch into a move, you can't do it, and finally you get it. That's a little bit what this is like, and how we as humans end up learning. So this is the last of the systems, or the last of the weeks for System 1. What we're going to do on this one is what we're going to do in the next book, which will be really great for you, I hope, which is go through all of the different forms. All right, so we're going to be in the key of G, and I'm going to go through we're going to start off in the D form, and then go to the C form, and the A form, and the G form, and then eventually the E form. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do two different tiers of this. So if you're sort of learning this stuff, what I want you to do is every day you'll do a different setting of these. So every day you'll do just two of them. So on day one, you're going to start with the D form, and then you're going to go to the C form. And I'll show you what you're going to do in a second. Day 2, you're going to be C form and A form. Day 3, A form and G form. Day 4, G form and E form. And then lastly, E up to D for day 5. If you're an advanced player and you're trying to, utilize this stuff, you can do all 5 of these as you go through the progression. The progression's like, I think it's a 16-bar progression. Yeah, 16-bar progression. So you can go through, or it's an 8-bar progression. Yeah, 16-bar progression. 16 bars, then move into the next form, or move into the next form. 16 bars, move into the next form. So every day you're doing all 5. I hope you understood what I was saying there. All right, so let me walk through this thing. The progression is going to be the same as the progression I believe that we had in week 10 out of F. But we're going to put it in the key of G. We're going to start in the D form. So on the G chord, you're going to be in the D form. On the D chord, it's actually a D with an F sharp. I'm going to do the A form. Then when we go to the E minor chord, E minor and D are really the same, one and the same. E minor and G are one and the same. So here's a G chord, here's an E minor 7 chord. You can see the top is the same on that, as we've said. So when you get to that E minor chord, you're going to do the G arpeggio again. Then we're going to go to C, and you'll do the A arpeggio. Again, any order, any phrasing. Back to G, D, then we're going to do flat 6, flat 7, and root. And again, if you don't know the background of where that comes from, watch the System 1 Week 10 Arpeggios, I believe, talks about that, how it's a borrowed section from the parallel minor. I won't deal with that now, so if you didn't understand that, go back to that other one. So when we get to the E flat, or E flat, you're going to do the arpeggio here, F, and then G. Okay, then it's going to move, for you guys who are a little bit newer, we're going to move into C form. G chord, D chord. It's the G form of it. E minor chord, back to that G. C, G, D, E flat, F, G. You'll just do those two forms for day one, and then you'll move on to these next two forms, the C form and the A form. For those of you who are more advanced, you can do each one every 16 bars. So again, on this one, G, D, it's going to be the E form. G, E minor. You hear that? And then C, G. Can't see my hand. D chord, E flat. You can put that top note on if you want to put that top note on, and G. Okay, then we're going to move into the G form. Again, for those of you on who are doing just 2 a day, you go from the A form up to the G form every 16 bars. And for those of you doing all of them, this will just be the third one. So G form, D form of the D chord, E minor, it's just the G form again, C, G chord, D with an F sharp, E flat, F, and G. If that gets too low for you, you could do the you could go down an octave on it if you need to do that. I mean, if it gets too high, if it gets too tight for you. Incidentally, by tight I mean if you're on a Strat or something, you know, do those notes. But if you're on something that you just can't get up that high, then you can take it down an octave. All right. Then the last form, we're going to go to the G form. I'm going to do it up here though, or the G chord again, in the E form, D chord, C form, E minor chord, C, G, D. Now this one, even if you're on a Strat, you might want to just stay on the top 4 strings, and if you're on an old traditional Strat that only has 21 frets, you have to take that down an octave. All right, so you get the idea. Again, if you're newer at this, first day 1, D form, C form, day 2, C form, A form, day 3, A form, G form, day 4, G form, E form, day 4, E form, D form. And if you're a little bit more advanced and are good on this, you can do all 5 for the 16. Let me just, I don't even, you know, I'll go straight into a demo. I'll show, I'll do it sort of slow on the first half and then a little bit more advanced on the second half. So I'll just jump right into the demo, and then you can take over from there.